So this morning what we're going to do is go over how we solve the pseudocode to code problems that you had for homework. So first of all, what we want to do is open Eclipse. And you may or may not have this splash screen that comes up. If this is the first time that you've opened Eclipse, and or if you've said, always show welcome at startup, if you kept that clicked, then you'll each time that you start up Eclipse, that you'll have this screen. If you don't, or if you just want to go in the other way, what you do is you click the X here and get rid of the welcome screen, and then you have the Eclipse working area. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to create a new Java project. So if you click on this icon right here in the upper left-hand corner, then this select wizard comes up. You want to go, if this is all closed in, you click on this triangle beside the Java folder, and then you click on Java project. So then you click next, and then you're going to give your project a name. So since this is the pseudocode to code, I'm just going to call this the pseudocode to code, and then I'm going to create two classes or end up creating two classes to use in there. Then you go down and click the finish button, and you will have a Java project. So we can't really do anything with just the project yet, so we have to create classes inside. So if you go over to your Package Explorer and you click the triangle here, and then click the source file. The source file is where we're going to create the Java projects. So right click on source, then click new class. Okay, so this is our first Java class. This splash screen is going to come up. It has the source folder, which is your pseudocode default code. That's your Java project. You don't necessarily have to deal with any of this, but we need to give our Java class a name. So the first one is, the first problem that we're going to work on is the car comparison. So for class names, we start with a capital letter, and then we use Pascal case, which is, excuse me, start with a capital letter here, and then for each new word we capitalize. Now I'm going to use the main class, or I'm sorry, the main method in here. So I'm going to use the things that I have available to me in Java, and I'm going to click public static void main, and then I'm going to click finish, and it is going to create my Java class for me. And it is going to have, as you see, it's going to have the main method already written in, and I'm ready to go. Well, right now, I want a little more real estate to actually be able to see what I'm doing here in my code. So I'm going to get rid of all of these things because I don't really need them right now. Now, once I run the program, I'm going to have the console open, so I'll just leave all this stuff down here. Actually, no, I'm just going to X out of this also. So the only two windows, I still have my Project Explorer open over here, and then I have the actual class where I'm actually doing my code. And like I said before, once I run the program that I'm building, I'll have my console window open here. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, we know from the past that if we're going to have user input, which we are going to create for this, that we have to import our scanner class. So import Java scanner. And you have to spell scanner correctly. Okay, so that's going to give us the ability to use the scanner class to get user input. You see these icons over here? These are like little warning icons. Sometimes we'll import stuff and we haven't used it yet, and that's what this is warning us. If you see an X, a red X, that's going to give you an error and your code's not going to compile. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go down and we are going to start by, we're going to erase this message. We're going to go back over here into Schoology and we're going to copy the problem. Okay, so Command C, then head back into Eclipse, and we're going to paste that. Why are we doing that? Well, because that's going to help us when we're actually looking at the problem. So I don't have text wrap on this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Java comment star, and at the end it'll be star / Okay, so now this is a Java comment. Basically I created that just inside my code block here for the main method, and then I'll be able to refer to that as I'm building my program. Okay, so you all already did the pseudocode for this, so you know that. So what we're going to do here, first of all, is we're going to start creating our input variables. Now we did our pseudocode. So basically all we're going to do first of all is take that pseudocode and create some variables. All right, so we know that Java is a strongly typed language, so we have to give it, tell it what type that we're going to do and give it a name, and then I'm going to give everything an initial value of 0 so that they're all instantiated. So the first of all, I'm going to do the distance to work. Okay, set that to equal to 0. All right, the beginning mileage. And of course, that's going to be one that we're going to try to get user input for. And end mileage. Set that equal to 0 first. And then int num work days. Okay. All right. So your next question may be, okay, well, where did all this stuff come from? Well, what I did was, as I took a look at the problem, and I just analyzed the problem, and I took out of the problem all the things that I'm going to need to calculate what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have the distance to work. I'm going to have the beginning mileage of the odometer, the ending mileage of the odometer, and the number of work days. Those are all the basic things that I'm going to use to calculate the other numbers that I need for the program. Okay, so the final thing the final output for this program is going to be, you want to find out which fraction of your car use is for community work and which is for personal use. Okay, so in order to get that, I have to create a calculation. So the first one thing that I'm going to do is total mileage. So I'm going to create another integer, and it's going to be called total mileage, and I'm going to set that equal to the end mileage. Okay, end mileage. Let's spell it correctly. Minus the beginning mileage. Okay, So I have created another variable that is it is an equation of two other variables. Now, right now, if I were to print out total mileage, all I would get would be the end mileage. I would get 0 because, of course, I have set it up to 0 here. Okay, so my total mileage is the end mileage minus my beginning mileage. So how do I figure out my work mileage? Well, my work mileage is, so I'll create another variable here and I'll call it int total work mileage. Well, I can get that by calculating my distance to work times the number of work days. Okay, so I'm creating a new variable, total work mileage. Let's just call it work mileage. Okay, so sometimes you're going to get errors as you're doing when you basically you want to look for errors as you're going. If notice that I had an error over here, it's like underscoring this in red. Well, usually whenever you see that and everything is spelled correctly, it's because that you're missing a semicolon. So go ahead and make sure that you have that semicolon. All right, so all of these things, these are going to be user input. So I'm going to go ahead and note that these are user input variables. So that tells me that I'm going to have to set up and use this scanner. So before I even start dealing with that, I've got to create a new scanner class. So I'm going to, or an object of the scanner class. So I type in scanner. I give my scanner a name. Scanner is, in this instance, what we're doing here is this scanner right here is equivalent to saying, okay, int is a type, scanner is a type. N is a variable name, distance work is a variable name. Okay, so then you have to do the keyword new scanner. So you're just saying this is a constructor. So you're just saying, hey, make a new scanner make a new object of the scanner type called in, and just give it system.in. Make sure you put your semicolon. And now what you have is you have an instance of your scanner utility that you can use to get information from the user. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start doing that is getting information from the user. So what we do is the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our sysout shortcut. So control space, and that gives us system out print line. And we're going to give a user a prompt. Okay, so we're going to say, please enter the distance from home to work. Okay, and then we're going to say dist work, which is our variable here, equals in dot next int.